BGMC. The biblical truth lives here.
We are living in a time like no other in history, but fortunately for us, God wrote it all down in His prophecies. Find out what prophecies happened this week ripped straight from the headlines. Stay tuned for the Prophecy Headlines News Show on the Remnants Call.
Some amazing stories going on this week.
Hay muchas cosas sorprendentes que están pasando en este día.
Our first news stories always come from Israel.
Nuestra primera historia viene desde Israel.
Okay, the first news story
Nuestra primera historia
comes about the terrorism that has been happening in Israel.
Estamos viendo el terrorismo que está sucediendo en Israel.
From the animal Muslims.
De los musulmanes animales.
They like to kill people who can't defend
A ellos
themselves.
les gusta matar a gente que no se pueden defender.
So a young woman was stabbed to death while she was waiting for the bus.
Una mujer fue apuñalada mientras esperaba el bus.
Then another woman died 12 hours later
Y 12 horas después otra mujer murió
when one of these lovely Muslims came up and stabbed her in the neck.
cuando uno de estos musulmanes pacíficos vinieron y la apuñalaron en el cuello.
Then a 26-year-old man was stabbed, but he's alive.
Y un hombre de 26 años también fue apuñalado, pero está vivo.
And then a 50-year-old was stabbed in the face.
Y otra mujer de 50 años fue apuñalada en la cara.
This is the people that want peace with Israel.
Esta es la gente que quiere paz con Israel.
In our next story,
Nuestra próxima historia.
the soldier that was stabbed in Tel Aviv,
El soldado que fue atacado en Tel Aviv
he died yesterday.
falleció el día de ayer.
He was also waiting for a bus.
Él también estuvo esperando el bus cuando fue apuñalado.
Next story.
La próxima historia.
But Israel, this is the difference between even an unsaved Jew
Esta es la diferencia entre un judío no salvo
and the animals called the Muslims.
y los animales llamados musulmanes.
They brought the guy who stabbed the woman to death to the
Trajeron
hospital
al hospital al hombre que apuñaló a la mujer que él asesinó.
because somebody had a gun to shoot the guy,
Porque alguien disparó a este hombre,
but he wasn't dead.
pero él no murió.
They brought him to an Israeli hospital,
Lo trajeron a un hospital israelí
and they don't care. That person is a person when they come through the doors.
y no les importó porque una persona es una persona cuando entran por esas puertas.
So here for hours, they were working on this guy to save his life.
Por 4 horas estuvieron trabajando con este hombre para salvarle la vida.
That's the difference between a Jew and a Muslim.
Esa es la diferencia de un judío y un musulmán.
The Jew loves life, the Muslim hates life.
Los judíos aman la vida y los musulmanes la odian.
The next story,
La próxima historia.
this is the envoy from the European Union,
Este es el encargado de la Unión Europea,
Federica
Federica Mogherini. Mogherini.
She's telling Benjamin Netanyahu, give up half of Jerusalem.
Ella le está diciendo a Benjamín Netanyahu que entregue la mitad de Jerusalén.
And Benjamin Netanyahu said, not a
Y
chance.
Benjamín Netanyahu le dijo, no es posible.
You know, why don't the Italians give up part of Italy
¿Qué tal si los italianos entregan parte de
to
Italia
Spain again?
para España otra vez?
Or to Britain?
O para Nueva Inglaterra.
You don't like when you say that, do you, right?
No te gustaría que yo diga eso, ¿verdad?
Give up half of Jerusalem.
Entreguen la mitad de Jerusalén.
But there is actually one smart person in the Muslim area,
Pero vemos una persona inteligente en el área musulmana
and her name is Sua Arafat.
y el nombre de ella es Sua Arafat.
She's the widow of Yasser Arafat.
Ella es la viuda de Yasser Arafat.
She said armed violence is never going to work.
Ella dijo que violencia armada nunca va a trabajar.
Wow, there is somebody with brains there.
Hay alguien que tiene
Can't believe
cerebro.
it.
No lo puedo creer.
All right? But here's a real popular song in Palestine.
Y aquí hay una canción popular que está tocando en Palestina.
On their radio station here, these fine Muslim men
En esta radioestación estos hombres finos musulmanes
made a pop hit song,
hicieron una canción
which the words are, run over Israeli babies, run them over.
que habla de atropellar a los niños israelíes.
I think, remember there was that movie called Scarface?
¿Recuerda la película La cara cortada?
They should say hello to my little friend.
Ellos deberían decirle hola a mi pequeño amigo.
You know, this is the difference between good and evil, everybody.
Esta es la diferencia entre bien y mal.
This is a #1 hit song.
Esta es una canción que está muy popular allí.
Run over Israeli babies.
Atropella a bebés israelíes.
What would happen
¿Qué
if
pasaría
an Orthodox Jew
si un judío ortodoxo
made a song like that?
hiciera una canción así?
Run over the Palestinian.
Atropella a los palestinos.
You know, oh, that would be terrible.
Eso sería terrible.
None of the Muslims are saying anything bad about this.
Pero los musulmanes no dicen nada en contra de esto.
Anti-Semitism around the globe.
Antisemitismo alrededor del mundo.
Our first story comes from Paris.
Nuestra primera historia viene de París.
A Jewish teenager was walking down the street
Un adolescente judío estuvo caminando en la calle
by the kosher restaurant,
por un restaurante, caminando cerca de un restaurante kosher,
walking home from school,
caminando de vuelta a casa,
and they were beat up just for being Jewish.
y lo golpearon solo por ser judío.
And this is the French who are on a vote to give Palestine a state.
Y estos son los franceses que están votando para que Palestina sea un estado.
15 African immigrants
15 inmigrantes africanos
in France.
en Francia.
In Germany, anti-Semitism is rising past World War II levels now.
En Alemania el antisemitismo está alcanzando niveles mucho más altos que antes de la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
The hatred of the Jews is pre-World War II levels now.
El odio antisemitista ha subido a niveles altos como antes de la Guerra Mundial.
In the next story,
La próxima historia.
this story says a lot about who's in the German government again.
Esta historia te dejará saber quién está en el gobierno alemán.
There you see a symbol from the SS, the German Nazis.
Aquí pueden ver un símbolo de los alemanes nazis.
One of the German leaders is going to the Netherlands.
Uno de los líderes alemanes irá a Holanda
To go to a German grave sites in the Netherlands.
para ir a cementerios judíos.
No, not judíos.
Oh, no judíos,
To
a cementerios alemanes.
To SS soldiers.
Para mirar a soldados nazis.
To pay respect to the SS soldiers that died in World War II.
Para hacer honor a estos soldados que murieron en la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
That says a lot.
Esto dice mucho acerca de este
A
hombre.
lot.
Mucho.
And the next anti-Semitism story,
La próxima historia de antisemitismo.
here in America, in Illinois,
Aquí en Illinois, en América,
a Jewish synagogue was vandalized last week.
una sinagoga judía fue vandalizada la semana pasada.
And if the person had a chance, he said, I want to kill Jews.
La persona dijo que si hubiera tenido oportunidad quería matar judíos.
He clearly expressed intention to kill the Jews.
Él claramente expresó sus intenciones de matar o asesinar a judíos
Right here in America,
aquí
everybody.
en América.
Right here in America. In our last anti-Semitism story,
Y en esta última historia de antisemitismo,
in Australia,
en Australia,
anti-Semitic acts have jumped 35%.
los hechos antisemitistas han subido un 35%.
35%.
Un 35%.
Get ready, everybody.
Prepárense.
God's not going to allow this to keep going on.
Dios no va a permitir que esto siga.
But what you're seeing,
Pero lo que están viendo,
pick up a history book
si puedes tomar un libro de historia,
or a newspaper. Go to the library. I know that's hard to do.
ve a la librería, yo sé que es algo difícil de hacer.
And go read what happened 1932 to 34.
Ve y lee los periódicos de 1932 a 1934.
What you're seeing around the globe
Lo que estás viendo que está pasando en el
is
mundo
exactly the same thing we saw in the 1930s.
es lo mismo que vimos en los 30s.
And then even with Iran, with them wanting to get nuclear bombs and things,
E incluso con Irán que quiere obtener bombas nucleares y cosas así.
they're the same exact thing pre-World War II is what's happening today.
Lo mismo que pasó antes de la Guerra Mundial está pasando hoy.
So let's get to the prophecies.
Veamos las profecías.
Our first prophecy,
Nuestra primera profecía.
you see an interesting picture.
¿Ves esta fotografía muy interesante?
The United States government's trying to take your gun.
El gobierno de Estados Unidos está tratando de quitarte
All in
tus
favor
armas.
of gun control, raise your right hand.
Todos los que estén en favor del control de armas, levanten la mano.
Hitler
derecha.
did the same thing, everybody.
Hitler hizo lo mismo.
Also asked the First Nations people, the American Indians.
También pregunten a las personas de las
The
primeras
government
naciones.
said, give us your guns.
Los indios americanos.
That didn't work too well.
El gobierno les dijo, danos tus armas. Y eso
Ask
no
the
les fue
Indians
bien.
how they feel now.
Pregunta a los indios cómo se sienten hoy.
All right, prophecy news.
Noticias de profecía.
Jehovah said
Jehová dijo
that if you don't follow me,
que si no me sigues,
one of the plagues I'm going to send you
una de las plagas que voy a enviar
is your children
es que tus hijos
are going to become slaves.
van a ser esclavos.
Now, when this happens, know that it is God that's doing it.
Cuando esto pase, debes saber que es Dios el que lo está haciendo.
This story comes from a Muslim website in the Middle East.
La historia viene de una página web en el Medio Oriente.
Islamic State publishes prices for Christian slaves.
El Estado Islámico publica precios para esclavos cristianos.
Okay? If you're a woman between the ages of 40 and 50 years old,
Si eres una mujer de entre los 40 y 50 años de edad,
they'll pay $43 for you.
pagarán $43 por ti.
Don't you think you're worth a little bit more than that?
¿No crees que tú vales un poco más que eso?
You think you're a little, maybe like 60.
Quizás 60.
Okay? If you're a 40-year-old, 30 to 40,
Si tienes 30 o 40 años de edad,
you're worth $64.
tu valor es $64.
Now, if you're a 20 or 30-year-old little girl or a young woman,
Si tú eres una mujer de 20 a 30 años de edad,
you're worth $84.
tú costarás $84.
If you're a 10-year-old little girl,
Si tú eres una pequeñita de 10 años,
you're worth $128.
tú cuestas $128.
If you're 1 to 9 years old,
Si tu edad es de 1 a 9 años de edad,
you're worth $170.
tu precio es $170.
And this is happening all over the Middle East, everybody.
Y esto está pasando en el Medio Oriente.
Wow. Limit 3 slaves per customer.
El límite es 3 esclavos por cliente.
It's coming, everybody. This is open for everybody to see.
Esto está acercándose y esto está publicado y todos pueden ver.
You think it's not going to happen?
¿Tú crees que no va a suceder?
You better listen to the message.
Es mejor que escuches al mensaje.
Next story.
La próxima historia.
You see there the words Haman lives.
Lo titulamos Amán vive.
Why do we recognize the feast of Purim?
¿Por qué reconocemos la fiesta de Purim?
Because that's biblical Persia.
Porque esto es la Persa bíblica.
Purim is a memorial day that we should understand.
Purim es un día memorial o de recordación que debemos entender.
Why should we understand it?
¿Por qué debemos entenderlo?
Because of this story right here.
A causa de esta historia aquí.
Here you see a donkey. His name is Ayatollah Khomeini.
Si ves aquí un burro sentado, se llama Ayatollah Khamenei.
He is the modern Haman.
Este es el Hamán moderno.
He has laid out a 9-point plan to destroy Israel.
Él ha puesto un plan de 9 puntos para destruir a Israel.
And it's up on his Facebook page.
Y está en su página de Facebook.
Haman lives, everybody,
Hamán está vivo
because they have nuclear weapons already.
porque tienen armas nucleares.
And it's coming to a theater near you.
Y está acercándose a un teatro cerca de ti.
When somebody is open about their intentions,
Cuando alguien es abierto acerca de sus intenciones.
that's why I said study the 1930s.
Por eso te digo, estudia los años 30.
Hitler was open about his intentions of taking over the world.
Hitler él decía públicamente lo que quería tomar poder en el mundo.
They were going to slice it up between 3 people.
Iban a repartirlo entre 3 personas.
The Emperor of Japan,
El emperador de Japón,
Mussolini,
Mussolini y Hitler.
This is happening already in the Middle East. They've
Esto está
published it.
pasando ya en el Medio Oriente. Y en Polonia lo pasó.
Next story.
La próxima historia.
And here, the Muslim plan for implementing Sharia law in America.
Y aquí vemos que los musulmanes están planeando implementar la ley Sharia aquí en América.
Okay? It's happening already in England.
Ya está pasando esto en Inglaterra.
There are parts of South London
Hay partes del sur de Londres
that if you're dressed like that, Kit Kat,
que si tú estás vestida así,
in their neighborhood, they're going to beat you up.
en su vecindario ellos te van a golpear.
I say we take a few boys
Y digo, nosotros podemos tomar unos muchachos
and let's talk a little face to face.
y hablemos un poquito cara a cara.
Let me show you my friend Smith and Wesson.
Déjame mostrarte mis amigos de Smith Wesson
Or maybe you might my friend Luga.
o mi amigo Luga,
Or my friend Louisville.
o
Slugga?
mi amigo Louisville.
Okay? These guys take British citizens,
Estos hombres, estas personas toman personas británicas
beat them up
y los golpean
in their own
en
neighborhoods.
sus propios vecindarios.
And the police do nothing about it.
Y la policía no hace nada al respecto.
But God said, I'm going to use them as my tool.
Pero Dios dijo, voy a utilizarlos como mi instrumento.
You don't want to worship me?
¿No quieres adorarme?
I'll force you to worship somebody else.
Te voy a forzar a adorar a alguien más.
You should see the video. It's amazing.
Deberías ver el video, es sorprendente.
In Revelation.
Shalom, this is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman. I would personally like to thank you for tuning in to the Remnants Call each and every week. You can listen to the full message on our website, bethgoyim.org. If you have drawn closer to the King of Kings, learned more about Him today, we are blessed. If you are blessed by these messages, please consider a donation to our ministry. You can go to our website, bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. And click on the donate button. You do not have to have a PayPal account to donate. All you need is a debit card. Once again, thank you very much for listening to The Remnants Call.
In Revelation chapter 17, verses 8 and 9,
En Revelaciones capítulo 17 versos 8 y 9
it talks about the one world religion.
habla de una religión mundial
And that's coming also very quickly.
y esto también se está acercando pronto
And it's going to be run by that place.
y va a ser dirigido por este lugar.
The Pope is meeting this week
Esta semana el Papa se reunirá
with Russell Moore and Rick Warren.
con Russell Moore y Rick Warren.
He's already met with the other really big Christian leaders.
Ya él se ha reunido con los otros líderes cristianos populares.
I really hope Francis calls me.
Espero que Francis me llame a mí.
Call me.
Llámame.
Francis, Bubby, call me.
Llámame, Francis.
We'll talk
Hablaremos.
face to face, mano
Cara a
y
cara.
mano. I'll set you straight.
Yo te voy a hablar directo.
Okay, but he's meeting, but this is part of the plan, everybody.
Pero esto es parte del plan.
Revelation 17 speaks of it.
Revelaciones 17 habla acerca de esto.
Next story.
La próxima historia.
Prophecy about being beheaded.
Profecía acerca de ser degollados.
Revelation 20 verse 4
Revelaciones 20 verso 4.
talks about the souls of those who have been killed for the gospel underneath Yeshua's throne.
Habla de las almas de aquellos que fueron degollados por el evangelio abajo de la silla de Yeshua.
Well, this happened this past week.
Esto pasó esta semana pasada.
The vicar of Syria
El vicario de Siria
tells of the story of the children being beheaded, the Christian children.
habló de historias de niños cristianos que fueron degollados.
And what they said is, we will not give up Yeshua.
Y lo que decían ellos es que no van a dejar a Yeshua.
They're up in heaven now, we know that for sure.
Ellos están en el cielo, sabemos eso de ser
It's coming, everybody,
de cierto. Esto se acerca.
unless we do something drastic.
A no ser que hagamos algo drástico.
And you'll hear it in the message.
Lo escucharás en el mensaje.
Next part, Breck's prophecy.
La próxima profecía.
In the end of days, doing good will be called evil.
En los últimos días, hacer bien será llamado mal.
Here in this story,
Aquí en esta historia,
This 90-year-old chef and 2 ministers in Florida
Este hombre de 90 años y 2 ministros en Florida
might go to jail
quizá vayan a la cárcel
because they fed the homeless in Fort Lauderdale.
porque ellos alimentaron a los que no tienen hogar en Fort Lauderdale.
They're going to go to jail because they fed the homeless people.
Ellos van a ir a la cárcel porque alimentaron a mendigos.
So how do you hurt Fort Lauderdale, everybody?
¿Cómo golpeas a Fort Lauderdale?
Don't go there for tourism.
No vayas allá para turismo.
And send them an email
Y mándales un
saying, I
correo
was going to come to Fort Lauderdale, but you treat people badly.
y diles que ibas a ir de vacaciones a Fort Lauderdale, pero te enteraste que tratan mal a la gente.
This person was giving out the food for free
Esta gente estaba entregando comida gratis
to people who couldn't feed themselves.
a gente que no se puede alimentar por sí misma.
That way the government can do what the government does,
It
spend
is.
money poorly.
De esa manera puede hacer lo que el gobierno hace mejor, gastar
Okay.
el dinero pobremente.
So, but what did Isaiah say?
Pero ¿qué es lo que Isaías dijo?
In the end, good will be called evil.
En el fin, el bien será llamado mal.
The next story,
En la próxima historia.
once again in Isaiah 5, verse 18 through 20,
Una vez más vemos en Isaías capítulo 5, verso 18 al 20,
everything's going to be turned upside down.
que todo va a ser puesto de cabeza.
Here in Cleveland,
En Cleveland,
Ohio, they're forcing businesses
están ordenando u obligando
To-
a negocios
open their bathrooms to everybody.
para que tengan sus servicios higiénicos disponibles
So,
para todos.
A man can go into the woman's bathroom
Así
now.
un hombre puede ir al baño de una mujer.
So if a woman's going to the bathroom,
Si una mujer va al baño,
a guy could follow you in there now in Cleveland.
un hombre puede seguirte al baño ahí en Cleveland.
That's going to turn out bad, guys.
Eso va a ser una muy mala idea.
And when that woman comes in and shoots the mayor,
Y cuando esta mujer venga y dispare al alcalde,
you're going to get what you deserve.
vas a obtener lo que te mereces.
Because this is not logical.
Porque esto no es
Well, I feel
lógico.
like a woman today.
Me siento como una mujer hoy.
Then you'll wait till I'm done
Entonces tú esperas hasta
because
que
I'm going to feel
termine.
like a man today.
Porque me voy a sentir como un hombre hoy.
What's going to occur is many sexual problems that are going to occur with all this.
Van a haber muchos problemas sexuales ocurriendo a causa de esto.
Because the guy's not going in there because he feels like a woman.
Porque el hombre no va a ir adentro porque se siente como una mujer.
And the key about it, what they're going to do,
Y la clave de lo que van a hacer.
is they're going to fine businesses $1,000 per incident.
Y dice que van a multar a los negocios con $1,000 si hay alguna queja.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Okay? Now the Lord said, if you don't follow me,
El Señor dice, si no me sigues,
in Deuteronomy 28, verse 49 and 50,
en Deuteronomio 28, verso 49 a
I'm going
50,
to give you over to demonic people,
yo te voy a entregar a gente satánica,
grim in appearance.
oscura en apariencia.
In this story here,
Y en esta historia aquí,
here in North Carolina, in Union County,
en Union County, North Carolina,
I think we need to go visit them, Will.
creo que necesitamos ir a visitarlos, Rabbi Will.
Their schools are handing out that Islam is a peaceful religion.
Están ellos enseñando que el Islam es una religión de paz.
Here you see a photocopy of what was given to the children.
Esta es una copia de lo que les están enseñando a los niños.
Look at letter B, please.
Vean a la letra B.
The answer here, most Muslim blank, blank, blank than the average Christian.
Muchos musulmanes espacio que un cristiano normal.
Okay, and the answer that the child had to put in,
La respuesta que el niño tenía que poner.
most Muslims' faith is stronger than the average Christian.
La fe de la mayoría de musulmanes es mucho más fuerte que de un cristiano.
It's amazing.
Es sorprendente.
Okay, next story.
La próxima historia.
In sickness,
En enfermedades.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 22.
Deuteronomio 28, verso 22.
The Lord said, I'm going to send you sickness.
El Señor dice, te voy a mandar enfermedades.
Here's a new one that's out now.
Aquí
Maybe you've
vemos
seen it there at the hospital or in your facility, Doc. The kissing bug.
el insecto que besa.
The kissing bug has infected 300,000 Americans.
Ya ha infectado a 300,000 americanos.
It bites sleeping victims.
Muerde a víctimas que están durmiendo.
It sucks their blood
Les chupa la sangre
and poopies on them.
y defeca sobre ellos.
Okay? And then it kills you.
Y esto te mata.
It kills you.
Esto te mata.
This is happening. It's interesting where it's happening.
Es interesante dónde está sucediendo.
Look where it's happening.
Mira dónde está sucediendo.
It's happening in our New York.
Está pasando en Nueva York.
You've been seeing it at your facility?
¿Han visto algo? en
You look
ustedes?
out for it.
Tienen
Okay.
que mirar esto.
Okay? Kissing. It's called the kissing bug.
Se llama el insecto que besa.
In Hosea chapter 4, verse 6,
En Oseas capítulo 4, verso 6.
it says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge."
Habla de que mi pueblo murió por la falta de conocimiento.
Okay? Here, I don't know if you saw the video.
Yo no sé si ustedes vieron el
It was
video.
quite amazing.
Era sorprendente.
The architect of Obamacare,
El arquitecto del plan Obamacare,
Mr. Gruber,
el señor Gruber,
thank goodness he's not Jewish,
gracias a Dios no es judío.
he said, "We passed this bill because we counted on the stupidity of the American voter."
Él dijo que pasaron esta ley o fue aprobada gracias a la estupidez del votante
He's
americano.
on video saying this.
Hay un video que él dice esto.
And then the worst part about it
Y lo peor de esto,
is the fine woman from California, her name's Nancy Pelosi,
y que la mujer de California, Nancy Pelosi,
who constantly in 2009 quoted this man,
que constantemente en el 2009 hablaba de este hombre,
said, "I never knew him."
dijo que nunca
She
lo
said that this
conoció.
week.
Ella dijo esto esta semana.
So somebody played the video for her.
Alguien, por favor, póngale el video a ella.
That's not me.
Esa no soy yo.
My people perish for lack of knowledge.
Mi pueblo murió por falta de
Connor, make it
conocimiento.
75 in the front, please. All right. I think this is the last story.
Esta es nuestra última historia.
The watchman has been gagged and silenced.
El atalaya ha sido silenciado.
We're supposed to be watching out for danger.
Nosotros debemos estar mirando o cuidando por peligro.
And our police officers are supposed to have guns,
Y nuestros oficiales de policía deben tener armas,
especially the Border Patrol.
especialmente la Guardia de los Límites de Estados Unidos.
But our president has taken the guns away from our Border Patrol.
Pero nuestro presidente está quitándoles las armas a los agentes que cuidan los límites de Estados Unidos.
I wonder why.
Me pregunto por qué.
So Texas has put their own people on the border.
Texas ha puesto a su propia gente a cargo en los límites.
They're bringing back militias that we saw in the Revolutionary War.
Están trayendo milicias que vimos en la guerra revolucionaria
To protect our borders.
para proteger a nuestros límites.
And let me tell you, the Texans shoot well.
Y déjame decirte que los texanos disparan muy bien.
I think the last story here. Matthew 24, verse 7 talks about wars.
Mateo 24, verso 7 habla de guerras.
Obama was in China
Obama estuvo en la China
for a meeting,
para una reunión.
and China flew over their new stealth fighter over his head.
Y China desplegó sus nuevos aviones
What does
sobre
that,
la cabeza de Obama.
what does that man speak?
¿Qué habla de ese hombre?
Okay, maybe ladies don't understand what happened.
Quizás las damas no entienden lo que está
When a
pasando,
man goes like this,
pero cuando un hombre muestra sus músculos,
yes, that's what they were doing.
eso es lo que estaban
Don't
haciendo.
mess with us.
No te metas con nosotros.
This is our new toy that you
Este
can't
es-
defend.
Este es nuestro nuevo juguete.
And this was a fascinating story.
Esta es una historia fascinante.
Mikhail Gorbachev, the former Russian head,
Mikhail Gorbachev, what was it?
he was the former Russian leader.
Era el líder antiguo ruso.
during the Reagan years
Durante los
when
años
we
de
actually had
Ronald
a good
Reagan,
president.
cuando tuvimos un buen presidente.
Okay? Well, he is saying we're heading for World War III.
Él declaró que estamos encaminándonos
Not Reagan,
hacia la
he's dead.
Tercera Guerra Mundial.
Gorbachev
El señor Gorbachev
is saying the Russians are ready, they're building up for a war.
están diciendo que los rusos se están preparando para una guerra.
Wait till, if you want the news, like I said, I'll send you the whole, it's amazing.
Si quieres las noticias, yo te la puedo mandar, es algo sorprendente.
Okay? And finally, the mark of the beast,
Finalmente, la marca de la bestia.
Revelation 13, verse 16.
Apocalipsis capítulo 13, verso 16.
Okay? This is why we're heading for the mark of the beast, everybody.
Esto nos avisa que estamos encaminándonos para la marca de la bestia.
The Postal Service was hit by the Chinese.
El servicio postal fue golpeado por los chinos.
They hacked into the Postal Service
Entraron al programa del servicio postal
and they stole 750,000
y robaron 750,000
Social Security numbers
números de Social Security
and people's information.
e información de la gente.
They also hacked into the weather channel.
También se metieron al canal del tiempo.
That I don't understand.
Eso yo no entiendo.
Maybe they were just tired of them getting it wrong all the time.
Quizás se cansaron de que estaban equivocados siempre.
Somebody was just goofing around with that one.
O alguien estaba solamente
Watch this, we'll make it snow in Hawaii.
haz nevar en Hawái.
Also, they hacked into Home Depot.
También piratearon el sistema de Home Depot.
So all your credit card information
Toda tu información de las tarjetas de crédito
is now owned by the Chinese.
ahora tienen los chinos.
So make sure you watch your bills, everybody.
Asegúrate que cuides tus cuentas.
Okay? They hacked into there too.
También ellos entraron a eso.
All right, that's enough news for right now.
Es suficiente de noticias aquí.
And if you want all the
Y si
news,
quieren todas las noticias,
send me a email at info@bethgoim.org.
mándenme un correo a info@betcoin.org.
Okay? And if you're out there were 202 online with us last Shabbat.
La semana pasada habían 202 con nosotros en internet.
Would you please hit the donate button?
¿Podrías por favor ponchar el botón de donar?
The internet can get cut.
El internet sí puede ser cortado.
So hit the donate button, would you please?
Por favor, golpea el botón de donar.
Shalom. My name is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman, and I invite you to come to visit our congregation. If you are in the tri-state area, come out and visit with us on Shabbat. We are a congregation of Jews and Gentiles, living as one in the Messiah Yeshua. BGMC is a place of true worship. The focus never wanders from the Hebraic roots of our faith. Beth Goyim is rooted in the Word of God from Bereshit through to the book of Revelation. Messiah's strong words against man-made tradition are carefully recorded in Matthew 7. That is the reason we only follow the straight-up instructions found in Scripture. Truly, the way, the truth, and the life. If you're looking for a deeper walk with Adonai, come out for our Tuesday evening Bible study called Messianic Torah Time. Come, spend a day with us on any Shabbat. We start at 11 a.m. with the sound of the ancient Hebrew shofar. Next, we offer our King praise and worship in English, Hebrew, and Spanish. After worship, we review the headlines in the previous week's news from around the globe, especially news from the Holy Land, Israel. We don't just list the news headlines as current events, but we comb through the scriptures, searching for clues to understand what they mean and then to help pinpoint prophetically our current position on Adonai's clock. After digesting all that modern information, we leave the world behind as we journey with our Adonai deep into his eternal word, not with just one or two scriptures, but usually 7 or more scriptures. The spiritual nourishment and the richness of his kingdom become accessible to the ones who share this special time and seek them out. The day does not end there. Because Shabbat is so special to him, there is always so much more that our King desires to share. So instead of separating and leaving, we stay together as a family for potluck lunch and an afternoon study of our King's Word. We close the Shabbat together with the reading of the new week's parashah. That's the Torah portion. Even after those blessings, many of us just can't get enough. So the members bring prepared homemade foods to share while we all enjoy an uplifting movie together. If all that information is not quite enough, you can check out our website where you will find over 200 video teachings and biblical holy day studies. Under Messianic Torah Time, the Hebrew Roots button, you'll discover free studies on many different topics, including PowerPoint slide presentations. If Beth Goyim sounds like a place you'd love to visit, but you live outside the tri-state area, there is still a way to connect with us. We stream live on the internet on Tuesday, Thursday, and Shabbat. The website is www.bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. Our phone number is 973-338-7800 or 978-2-YESHUA. That's 978, the number 2, Yeshua. Shalom.